greatness.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Central Valley GEG. This is our second May update, Adam. I think we did one earlier in May, so if you missed that, definitely check out our Central Valley GEG YouTube site. We are also simultaneously streaming to the Sons of Technology site. That's a website near and dear to our hearts. I want to tell you something, Adam, that I heard from one of our really good friends, Jeremiah Roosh. He sent me a text message saying that he's extremely sad to see CVQ going away. I know we're all very sad about that, but I told him when a window closes, a door opens, and I said, "Don't worry, CVGEG's got you covered." We are the new game in town that we want people to be joining us for. So everybody, if you're sad about losing Central Valley CUE, don't worry. We'll welcome you with open arms. And you know what? It's almost like the same team getting that band back together. But we're going to do our victory lap because I think we have a lot of cool things to share, especially you, Adam. Again, we're both kind of in the same role. I'm Joe Marquez. I'm a technology instructional specialist here in the Central Valley. And Adam, you are the ultimate walking ed tech coach. I mean, you wrote the book and everything about it. And so you're using all these tools every single day, not only in the classrooms, but in your personal life, right, as well. You had a couple things you wanted to share. So let's kick it off. What do you got for us today?
All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so before I jump into a personal one, I know we're talking off camera about what you're doing about the importance if we're going to use AI for, grading and writing, we have to make sure the human element is still part of it. So actually, that got me thinking of a gem that I had created not too long ago that I call the Essay Slayer. And really, what I've noticed is like teachers can very easily just drop their students right in there, and then just kind of it's a slippery slope where you can just quickly just grab that that score, that feedback without even looking at it and really vetting it. So I created a custom one here that it's a little bit more targeted, that really shows you, the teacher, evidence of what the scoring is. Directly quotes from the student writing, so that way you can kind of just zone right in. So it really help you with the vetting process. So I wanted to kind of jump on that first here. So this one here, we start by I'm gonna do a quick sample here. So our prompt is about, and this sample here is causes of World War I. Now I need to put in my rubric. You can paste it or upload it. So this is just a sample one that I'm using here. And then I have my copied student writing sample here that I'm just going to drop in there. And this gem is designed not just to score it, but gives justification and pulls out specific parts of the text that kind of go along with how it was scored. And if you notice here, I'm using the Canvas tool to make it do a little bit more deeper analysis here. But if you notice right here, it says location sentence 2. It talks about exactly why it scored this part here as marginal or fair. So it pulls out specific pieces of the writing to help you vet it a little bit more conveniently and quicker, but you're still putting your human eyes on that. I wanted to share that one real quick here, so I know that kind of leads into what I know you're going to be talking about later, Joe.
Yes, that's great. I need that. If it's a gem, I want you to send me that gem. I want to take a crack and look at that one.
Yeah. So that's one, for work, but I have been using Gemini for personal stuff. We can use it for personal stuff. I'm actually on my personal account right now, but yeah, so the same kind of skills and thoughts and ideas that we use professionally, we can apply to our personal life. So I wanted to maybe bring that element today here. So what I'm going to show you next here is called My Caddy. And Joe, you've seen me use this on the golf course where I'm talking to my phone. So this gem here, again, right now I'm in the edit mode. The instructions is designed, what I've designed it to do. I've updated it recently to include the information and the dimensions of the golf courses that I frequent around here in the Central Valley. So if you're at all a golfer and you're familiar with places like Hank Swanks and Valley Golf Center, those are the for us beginners. That's where we go. So I've compiled a a spreadsheet right here of every hole at those courses with distances and hazards and all the descriptions. So it's really going to help me. So really, I have this big, huge prompt here that I designed. It looks a lot harder than it looks like I did a ton of writing. I didn't do this much writing. I do have a cheat code for this. So really, this is my cheat code. So before I even write my instructions, like it's a lot of different AIs have this kind of built into them, but this is what's worked best for me. I go just into regular Gemini and I do a simple prompt. Write a prompt to train a gym to do the following. So then I explain, okay, you're going to be my golf caddy. You're going to use the specific spreadsheet of information for the data on the different golf courses and the holes on each course. And I'm going to provide specific information about where I'm at on the course, and you're going to recommend which club I use, how much I should grip the club, how much power, the placement of the ball, placement of my feet, all based off of data that I've provided to it. And then I ramble all that here in the prompt, and then what it does, it fleshes it out and turns it into this very detailed prompt here that will then allow me to create this gem here. So I'm gonna we'll go to the this is what the gem looks like here. So the trigger word for it is go. So I just either type or I say go, and this works the same whether I'm on my phone, when I'm on the golf course, if I'm right here on my laptop. So what's going to happen here? It's going to ask me to give the the course name and the hole number. Again, I'm still getting some bugs out, so this should work. So if I'm going to, let's say, Valley Golf Center, hole 2. Okay, so I've provided the data into the gem for it to reference that, so it knows all the information here. So it wants to know, where am I shooting from? Am I somewhere in the fairway, the rough, or am I at the tee box? We'll say I'm at the tee box. And usually when I'm on the golf course, I'm using the actual the microphone part on my down here in the bottom right corner here of Gemini, and I'm talking into it, so it's a little easier to do. So let's say I'm 130 yards out, that's the distance of the part of this tee box. It's par 3. It's telling me that I should use my 9-iron, how I should grip the club, my foot placement stance, the position of the ball, how much I should swing, and then it gives me some different other advice here. So this is something that I use to help improve my golf game. But again, the same kind of prompt engineering I do as an educator, I'm applying that same kind of thinking in my personal life. So definitely wanted to share that with you guys.
No, yeah, I love that. I need that. I need that. And all of you out there, if we're going to be setting up one of our golf kind of outings, right? It's the what did we call it, Adam? The
golf. Unlimited mulligans.
Unlimited mulligans. Yeah. So keep that in mind. If you want to be a part of CVGEG and you want to take your crack at golfing, you don't have to be good. I'll tell you, I'm the low man on the totem pole at golf. So you're not going to be the worst one there when I'm around. Let's just say that. Maybe we could all be using this at the same time. That could be pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. I'm going to share something with you really quick because we are in election season, and one of the things that is always confusing is the propositions. Right? There's so many propositions, and I'm going to show you an example from when Notebook LM first came out. I'm going to show you what I did. I also did it for 25, and I'm doing it right now for 26 as I prepare to make my selections. But you know how hard it is to understand these propositions, especially if you're listening to a commercial, because you can have a pro proposition, XYZ, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. I'm going to vote for it. And then right after that commercial is a con against proposition XYZ. And you're like, well, wait a minute. That makes sense too. I don't know what is going on here. What I did is I created a Notebook LM and I put in just the verbiage for the propositions. No pros, no con, just the verbiage. And I would ask the Notebook LM, I have no party of preference, Just tell me the facts. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't lean one side or the other. What happens if I vote for this prompt? What happens if I vote against it? Tell me the facts. And it did a great job. And then I created a podcast for it. And so I would listen to the podcast on my drive to work. And by the time I got to work, I knew exactly what I was going to vote on each and every prop because it gave me a no frills, no left leaning, no right leaning answer to every single one. And it gave me every single thing I needed to do. So just like you're using Gemini Gems for your golf caddy, I've been using Notebook LM to help me understand the legalese that happens when they put in these propositions. So I thought that was really, really neat. But the one thing I really wanted, and then I have a bonus, Adam, I have a bonus. We always talk about Notebook LM to create the audio podcasts, right? But I want to ask you this, because you probably know the answer. What is one of the limitations that you have when creating a podcast that you want to give maybe to your students and maybe younger students? What is one of the limitations when you craft a podcast in Notebook LM? What do you think?
Well, it's getting it to a specific audience. I can try to say for kindergartners, but the voices that come out aren't really using kindergarten vernacular level language. So it explains it pretty well, but getting it to a specific audience is still a struggle.
Yeah, that's the struggle. And then length, right? Because the more stuff you put into Notebook LM, the longer the length. Even if you go into the brief, it still might be, 10, 15 minutes, right? Depending on how much stuff you have. Well, I wanted to share with you Illuminate, not the testing software, but Illuminate that is in the experiments for Google. And this allows teachers to generate short form audio podcasts for any topic. It can be from research papers. It can be from books. And it provides it in 3 to 7 minute length podcasts. So if you are looking to generate these audio samples, because maybe you're trying to emulate the audio portion of the state test, you can create this audio portion, attach it to a Google form, and have them answer questions from the audio to emulate what that state test is about. And it's so easy, right? You can come in here from all these pre-made ones, which are already here by selecting all. They have tons you can search through, and they're ready to go. Same thing with books, tons ready to go. But if you want to make your own custom one, you go click generate. And then all you have to do is search for a topic, and it will only look up from Google Scholar, some higher, vetted sources. So I can say, you're going to love this one, AI and water usage. Not almonds and water usage, because those numbers are astronomical. So AI and water usage, I'm going to click search. It now brings up all these different studies on it. And let's say I like, how hungry is AI? Bench water, energy, and water. Excellent. I click add. It's ready to go. And then I can say, do I want it casual? Do I want it formal? Do I want it guided? Do I want it free form? I can come in here and I can change my prompt. I can say, please change the Lexile level to younger audiences. Right now, there's only a couple
the rabbit pulled out a watch and muttered. The rabbit pulled out
a watch and muttered. Oh, dear.
The same
I'm
ones
late.
that you would get in Notebook LM, but then you would hit generate, and then it makes your information, and it's ready to go. And look, 2 minutes, because the article was so short. So just another way for you to generate some really customized audio for different grade levels and different individuals. And again, it is an experimental mode. So you might occasionally get this link where it says something went wrong. We couldn't generate this audio. Definitely send them feedback that's happening, because it's a consistent thing. And again, it is beta. It is an experiment. So the more they know this stuff is happening that's wrong, the better it becomes. So there's your extra bonus for today. But here's the one thing I wanted to definitely bring up. And here's the thing. I love AI. I think when used properly, when used ethically, when used it with the human in the loop, there are so many amazing things that we as teachers can create and do. We can heighten the feedback cycle. We can provide higher level feedback for students at a faster rate. But Adam, like you were saying earlier, it's still super important that we keep the human in the loop. Okay. This isn't a secret, but because it was shown in the last CDE's AI work group to the public. So this isn't a secret, but I want to read this to you really quick. These are recommended AI policies. The Department of Education for California is getting finalized to then recommend to LEAs to implement. Right. And I just want you to be aware. Here's something that we need to make sure we're understanding. Under acceptable use from the California Department of Education, this is what they're saying. Under acceptable use, it says AI should be used to support learning, instruction, and operations in a way that enhances the human decision-making factor, not AI alone. And student and parental notification and consent are required whenever AI is used for grading or feedback, and AI should not be a substitute for critical thinking of reviewing academic work. And so that statement right there is basically saying, teachers, we know there are so many tools out there that are promising to leave feedback, and that's great, but don't take yourself out of the driver's seat. You have to review the feedback. You have to be a part of the process. Is it going to go as fast as you had hoped because you're doing it this way? No. But you're going to get to know your students still. You're going to get to utilize the tools, and you're going to be able to authorize the high quality feedback for your students. So I want to show you a couple easy ones that are free and available for you to use, especially if you are utilizing Google Classroom for students to generate these documents. One of them is Brisk. Right. So once you install Brisk, it's briskteaching.com. You install the program into your Chrome browser. And of course, you go up to the puzzle piece and make sure you have that thumbnail clip turned on. You now have this option for Brisk. And when you click on Brisk, there's a couple things you can do. One, if you are a teacher who has read this and your spidey senses are tingling, that possibly the student had used AI, you can click on Inspect Writing. Now, this isn't an AI plagiarism detector, but what it does do is it tells you how many copies and pastes were placed into this document, how many total keystrokes were done to make this document, and how many actual minutes it took them to write for this document. And so right here, I can tell that this student, which this is my daughter, but she didn't actually do this. I'm just using her name. This student did not write this. They copied and pasted the entire thing in here, right? So this is basically like a great way to have a conversation with the kid. Call them up. Hey, I noticed that you didn't type this. You copied and pasted the entire thing. Can we talk about that? Can you explain that to me? This is a great way to not have an accusation. Rather, you have a conversation, right? We always say that. It's conversations, not accusations. That's number one. But the other one is the give feedback. So now, people, please don't use this batch feedback. The batch feedback is what is causing a lot of issues where teachers are uploading 25 papers and then right away it grades them all, but the teacher never reads it. At least that's what I've heard. Please stay in the loop, teachers. So a couple ones you can do here. Targeted feedback, which means it'll highlight specific lines and provide feedback on that writing. Glows and grows, which puts it at the very top, what they did well and what they can improve upon. Or explicit rubric criteria you want them to do. So imagine if I click on this rubric criteria and I want to find a rubric. So I click on my rubric, I can grab it out of my file here and put it in. I can attach standards that I'm trying to cover right here. But as soon as you're done, all I do is click brisket and it goes in and look what it starts doing. This is your statement and main argument. This is your logical reasoning. This is your counter argument development. Here's your elements and example. And look, I can come in and make changes as the teacher. I can delete things if I don't agree with that section. And when I'm happy with it, I can insert all of them right into the paper for the student, right? It gives the student the feedback back quicker. You have authorized it because you've read the paper and you've read the feedback and you agree with it. It still saves you time because you're not the one sitting and analyzing and writing the feedback, but you are still part of the process. And when you're ready to go to the next student, you just click next. And now you're on your next student's essay ready to go. This is possibly the best strategy when having writing. Now, you can also use Snorkel. I know we love the writing section in Snorkel, but this is if you're doing your writing as essay in a Google Doc. This is probably your best place to go. But not to be outdone, School AI has added their extension. And again, once you've added the extension, make sure you've gone into the puzzle piece and clicked on that attachment right here. But once you click on it, you have the option again to see that revision history. I can click on it. It'll show me how many copies and pastes were in here. It'll show me how many minutes it took them to write. I can see all of that right here. So they have the same thing that Brisk does. But another cool thing that they have is either the summary feedback or inline comments. So I'm going to click on inline. This is a 4th grade paper. Let's say you want to add a standard. Is it lightweight? Is it a standard reading or is it rigorous? I'm going to keep it at standard. I can come in and really type exactly what I want it to do. I can attach my rubric so it has something to follow. But for this instance, I'm not going to attach a rubric. I hit generate comments and you can see it reads the entire thing. And it leaves inline comments, highlighting to target exactly what it thinks about this paragraph. It will not rewrite it. It'll just give recommendations. But again, as the teacher, you would read their writing. You would look at the feedback and you're like, I don't like that feedback. Cancel. Ooh, I really like that feedback. Comment. Ooh, I like that feedback. Comment. Ooh, I hate that feedback. Cancel. Now notice, you are still in the driver's seat. It's enhancing the feedback cycle, but you are still making the decision. I am a true believer that this needs to happen. We have a good friend named Ken Shelton who always talks about the AI doom cycle. And the AI doom cycle is when teachers use AI to make the lesson plan for them. The students get that lesson plan and use AI to generate the assignment for them. And then they turn in that assignment and teachers use an AI generated feedback tool to leave feedback for them. It's AI. And there's never a human in the loop. And that is the death cycle of AI and the death cycle of education when we allow that to happen. And so I wanted to show these tools because there's a lot of tools out there. And the tools, the way that the tool is used and the prompt you put in when using the tool, those are the two most important things to think about, not just the tool itself. So I just wanted to bring that conversation up because more and more of this conversation is happening in our district. I know it's happening in your district. So I'm assuming it's happening in the districts for all of those of you listening as well. So if you're watching live, please type in the comments what you think about feedback grading with AI and if you think the human has to be in the loop. But I'm going to go ahead and clear my screen for a second, Adam, and I want to hear from you. What do you think about these tools and how do you think they should be utilized for ethical and proper use of AI in the feedback cycle?
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with everything you're saying here. The Brisk and the School AI ones, I haven't really had a chance to actually see them live yet. So I'm glad that you demonstrated that because I've had some teachers I've been working with in middle school who have been really concerned about this, and that's when I came up with that gem as kind of my version of a way to help them stay, involved in the grading process. With School AI and Brisk, those are affordable, free, and trustworthy tools that we can use to make sure that we sound like we're a broken record here. Keep the human, I don't want to say in the loop, but human has to be in the driver's seat. Otherwise, we're gonna fall into that slippery slope that Ken talks about with that death cycle. We have to be there, and I'm really glad I got to see it live and how it works. And now I can go support those teachers who I know have been struggling with that specific thing.
Yeah. Now I have another question for you. what do you think about educators who use AI to give AI assisted feedback, but refuse to allow students to use AI so that the AI can provide them feedback to make their work better? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's more out of a place of fear. They just got themselves comfortable using AI themselves. So that's I see it's a place of fear. It's not, necessarily they don't trust the kids. They're just not sure how that would work, or don't have a tech coach available to help them, you know, get through those growing pains and show them how it works with kids in the classroom. So I could just, flip my nose up at them like, oh no, you're, behind the times. That's an easy knee-jerk reaction, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to see where they're at and definitely try to build them from there, because we can break down, like you say, ditch that fear. If we can help them ditch that fear, then we can kind of get them to see where this can be beneficial for kids, because we have part of preparing our kids for their future, not when you and I were in school. They have to be able to know how to use AI for good and not evil, because if we don't do that, all they're ever going to use it for is to cut corners, and that's not what we want them to do.
Yeah, we have a viewer right now, good old Keith67 right here. I believe that's Tyler from Idaho.
That's right.
And one of the things that he mentioned right here is that, maybe AI should be allowed to check homework or practice work, but teachers should be the one to finalize grades for a grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is a valid statement, such as when we're having our students do performance task practice and snorkel. The snorkel, after being well set up, that's another thing, right? The power of a tool only comes after the power of your prompt. Any amazing tool can be brought to its knees by a poor prompt, everybody. But when we use snorkel, we have a teacher over here, Micah, who does a phenomenal job using snorkel and the feedback cycle, because she can see exactly when a student provides their work to the AI and see the feedback the AI is providing in snorkel. And she reads the feedback, looks at what's happening, and calls the student up and says, make sure you're reading the feedback carefully. This is what it's saying. Make sure you do it. And then she sends it back to the seat. She is still part of the feedback cycle, but she's letting the AI maybe do a little bit more of the heavy work, but she's watching it happen in real time and does one-on-ones. That is one of the things we always talk about with AI. If AI is saving you some sort of time, you should fill that time with making connections with your kids. Right. And that's what she does in a phenomenal way. When I saw her using snorkel that way, it really solidified, this is how we should be training our teachers. And I asked her, I said, make sure when you're showing your fellow teachers this, that you're telling them exactly what you did, because what you did was absolutely amazing. So yes, I think these tools can be great at leaving quick feedback for formative work. But if it is something for a grade, man, the teachers definitely need to be putting their eyes on these things. And again, perplexity detectors or AI plagiarism detectors, they don't work 100%, right? There's a lot of lawsuits happening right now because of what are being claimed as false positives. And so when teachers ask, what's our number one line of defense? And it's you reading the student's paper. When you read the student's paper, you can usually tell, based on your years of service, did the students actually write that? And if your spidey senses tingle, boom, open up Brisk and have it do the inspect writing. If it shows you another indicator that they possibly used AI, call them up and have a discussion with them. That's a very logical step. That's the way AI should be used. That's the way we use it. That's the way we train on it. And like you said, once teachers get used to AI and they trust AI, not without their overview though, then maybe they'll start letting students use more AI. But I just wanted to bring that up because, I see the power in AI feedback, but I also see the allure to letting that AI do all the feedback for you. And the moment you get caught in that trap, it's hard to let go, because it saves you lots of time, but now have no idea who your kids are or how they write because you're not grading it. So just wanted to bring that up because, man, that's a huge hot topic for me right now. I wanted to make sure we brought it up.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because definitely I know, again, just to build on what you're saying is, and knowing your kids, you should know your kids. You should see a piece of writing that's like, whoa, that is really, really good. And I've never seen you write like that before. Like if you can't make that distinction, then we're not doing our due diligence. And just like another kind of a layer to this to help, with mitigate this issue of kids trying to use AI for plagiarism and to cut corners is I've worked with some teachers. I said, listen, we should probably, here's a good idea to make sure that you have it fresh in your mind. Every 4 to 6 weeks, have them do maybe a half page handwritten anchor sample. You can see something that was written authentically by them, by their hand. You have at a glance. So if I see them submit something, then I know that looks pretty out of the ordinary. I have something to refer to, and then that's going to lead us to our conversation about this, because we're in an interesting time where AI is brand new to the kids. It's going to take some time until it becomes really part of their everyday experience, which is going to happen in time. But we're right now with these new emerging technologies. I mean, the first thing we do is use it to cut corners. So if we want to mitigate that, like Tyler said, learning moment versus gotcha moment. Let's have that conversation, and that's definitely to be a lot more sustainable than just coming down like you're this is a hammering down authority figure.
Yeah, and we know that in the age of AI, things aren't the way they used to be, right? And it can create that fear, it can create that anger, it can create that anxiety, both for teachers and for students. But like we said, that allure to cut corners is very, very prevalent, and we have to do our job to show students that cutting corners with AI is not the way AI should be used. AI should be used to enhance what we can do, not replace what we can do. And the best way to train students on proper use of AI is to model proper use of AI, showing your students that you're still in control, you are still in the loop. AI is just assisting you in a variety of things, but never replacing you. Never replacing you. Adam, any final tips, tricks, or thoughts before we let the audience go?
No, man, I'm glad we jumped on now, because I know just finally getting to see, because again, I don't have students of my own. It's hard for me to get some student samples sometimes to see Brisk in school AIs, and they actually for school AI, that extension is actually one of the newest features of school AI. Brisk has been around for a bit, but to get to see them live and how they work definitely is going to help the teachers that I'm supporting.
Yeah, I always tell our teachers, let's look into the tools we've already purchased first before we look at other tools that we haven't, because they may suit your needs, right? So, we've actually have our AIE group. That's our artificial intelligence educator expert group. They looked at Brisk and they looked at School AI's extension, and I have to tell you, they did like the Brisk a little bit better, but I reminded them the School AI, since we already pay for it, that extension is free. So we might as well use the tool that we already have purchased. And so it's a great one that I've been adding to all the School AI trainings that we do down over here. But educators, we know we're coming to an end, not only of this program, but to the year as well. Adam, I don't know about you, but we are done in this district on June 5th. So 3 weeks from today, the countdown has begun. But I know there's a lot of different dates and times that everybody else is getting out. But I think we got to let people know when that golf tournament's going to happen. We'll make sure we put the group out and try to get a good group of golfers this summer.
Yeah. I'm thinking, June 5th, it's usually kind of a chill day. Maybe that's our next end of the year celebration style recording, and maybe June 6th, the next day, that first Saturday, is our next golf. We'll have to talk about it.
Maybe we'll definitely have to talk about it. But until then, everybody, this is Joe and Adam saying, you know what? We can only grow together, and you can only prosper when you till your field. And that means constantly learn and grow. And that's what we're here to help. And so if we can be a part of your learning network, we'd be glad to do so. Until then, thanks, everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. hold on. Sorry, guys. I did not have my queued up video yet. So here we go. Have yourselves a very wonderful day.